Fam, what's going on? Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. You're going to love this from Ty Simpson.
I just kind of told it how it was, how I felt as the leader. It's my job to make sure that I get the best out of guys.
You're probably wondering what that was about. Long story short, and I'll play the full clip here in a second, but Ty Simpson recently ripped the guys after the Missouri game on Monday. He told them this, and look, he was like, it's his job to be the guy, to be the leader, and he goes into this interview explaining his position on, holding the offense accountable for not playing up to the standard. Here's that soundbite from Ty Simpson on Tuesday ahead of the Tennessee matchup with the Volunteers.
What brought that on?
Yeah, I think it's going to stay between, the offense. But I just kind of told it how it was, how I felt as the leader. It's my job to make sure that I get the best out of guys, and I get the best out of myself. I just felt like the last couple games we hadn't, executed very well in some things. So I just wanted to make sure that the guys understand, what the standard is here and what the standard is of this offense. But yeah, I won't keep that between us.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, Ty Simpson, this guy is a leader, and I think it comes down to how he was raised, right? His dad is a coach, right? He coaches at UT Martin. This guy wants to be a coach, and I love after the games, you've seen it, right, where he's going over the play sheet or the stats rather, and he's like, you know what, we should have improved on third downs. I could have done better here. Look at this. This needs to be adjusted. This guy is a leader. This is the guy that we wanted to lead Alabama's quarterback room, and he's doing that. And I love the fact that he has, I have to be honest. Look, he's being coached by Grubb. Kalen DeBoer's put him in this position, but I think him being with Coach Saban too, he's got some Coach Saban in him, right? Even when he talks to the team before the game, he's using "I," and it's like the Saban comes out. So the Saban's in him, and now he's being coached by Coach Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb, and he's holding the players accountable because I think he understands how good this football team can be. And look, job is not done. You won 3 games in the SEC. I say it all the time. You haven't clinched a spot in the playoffs. You haven't clinched a spot in the SEC title game. Another good opponent is coming in. More rat poison is starting to seep in, right? Number 6 in the polls, the Heisman, all that external factors is going to start to seep in. So you have to block that out and hold the guys accountable because, look, I'll say this. There's not an issue with Alabama's quarterback play. 16 touchdowns, 1 interception. No problem there. The Alabama running back rooms, granted, when Jam is healthy, they've been doing better, right? They've been feeding him the ball. He's added another element. The wide receivers, outstanding. Jerry Bernard, Isaiah Horton, Lazier Brooks, whenever Ryan Williams gets going, right? The offensive line, the right side particularly, is kind of what is holding this offense back from being elite. We continue with Ty Simpson from Tuesday.
First off, right, I mean, like, those guys are –
Oh, by the way, in this cut, he's talking about the next quarterbacks, Keelan Russell and Austin Mack.
Grown tremendously from the time that Austin's got here last year to Key's time in the spring, right? Like, super proud of where they are. I think about when I was their age, and they're light years ahead of where I was. Just how mature they are, how much ball they understand, how talented they are. Having confidence in your starter is huge, but having confidence in your second guys is even more of a compliment, right? And I have extremely confident that if something were to happen to me, that those guys would execute it at a high level. So just really, those are my brothers, man. Like, just super proud of them. And I can't thank them enough, honestly. Like, those are some of my boys, and it's my job to make sure that I can mentor them in any type of way.
You know what? I love that soundbite right there because I think, look, knock on wood, this guy has to stay healthy, right? He's playing at an absolutely elite level, but I think that's what separates Alabama from the rest of the pack. And I'm talking a lot of teams in college football, probably, 95% of them is the quality depth. And specifically at the quarterback position, during that Missouri game, I don't know if you saw, but it looked like he might have been just tweaked minuscule. And I saw the quarterbacks starting to get loose. I have confidence in Keelan Russell from what I saw. I have confidence in Austin Mack from what I've seen early on. But this guy is the guy, and I love the mentorship. We continue with Ty Simpson talking about his excitement coming up for Alabama and Tennessee. As you know, he's a native of Tennessee.
Since I was a kid, grew up watching this game. So just blessed to play, honestly, just another SEC game, another ranked opponent at home. So just very, very excited.
You know what? He was asked about Tennessee's secondary, and one of the reporters was like, Tennessee's secondary is vulnerable. Here's Ty Simpson avoiding the rat poison.
What makes Tennessee's secondary so vulnerable?
I honestly don't think they're vulnerable at all, to be honest with you. They do a lot. They're good up front. They'll play man. They're physical. And they move around. They're fast. It's just like an SEC defense, you know what I mean? They're going to cause chaos. They're going to, they're going to blitz. All types of stuff, right? So we got to be on our P's and Q's and, got to be disciplined with everything, right? Because they're going to bring, every type of thing they got at us. We just got to make sure that, we make plays, right? Because their offense is going to make plays with how tempo they are. We just need to understand it. We need to do our job. You know what I mean? Like, that's a good defense. I'm pretty sure they're like number one in sacks, number one, turnovers and touchdowns, right? So we got to protect the ball, but I don't think they're vulnerable at all, to be honest with you. I think they're, one of the top defenses in the country.
Good job, Ty. Way to avoid the rat poison. Look, you have Tennessee coming in, and I think it's another ranked team, another top 25. As Coach Kane Womack said, look, kind of the common theme is playing an offense that has a lot of weapons, right? Tennessee ranked number 4 in total offense, and I think this is a team, Tennessee, that feels that they should probably be 6-0 coming into this contest. I think they'd probably love to have that Georgia game back. If you watch that Georgia game, they had that game. It was 21-7. They controlled the tempo. Georgia, of course, came back. Tennessee had an opportunity to hit the field goal. They missed it. Goes into overtime. Georgia wins. Whatever. Alabama right now has to block out all that noise and continue just the one-game stretch. Listening to Coach Kalen DeBoer on Monday, it's been good to see his demeanor. This guy has done totally taken a negative and turned it into a positive week by week. One of the main keys, of course, going into this game against Tennessee is controlling the time of possession. You got to get a good push from the offensive line, and one of the main storylines that we're tracking is the health status of Jam Miller, right, who's going through concussion protocol. So if Jam is healthy to go by Saturday, I feel confident. Either way, I do like the running backs, Kevin Riley, and, of course, Daniel Hill, Richard Young. Maybe we see some AK Deer. I have no idea, but Jam brings another element. So just something I'm watching. And then on the defensive side of the ball, the defense has to be up to the task. Specifically in the secondary, I know there's a lot going on with Damani Jackson and Dejon Lee and kind of who should start there. But overall, it's been very challenging for opposing offenses to throw against Alabama, right? Alabama went against Gunnar Stockton, held him in check, held Diego Pavia in check. Did the same thing against Bo Pribula, and they'll have another challenging offense, including some really dynamic weapons in Tennessee and Joey Aguilar. I appreciate you guys being here. Remember, news as it happens right here on Bama Football on YouTube. If you could drop a thumbs up on this video, I'd sincerely appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here and watching this video right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Check back later. I got a freshman report video that'll be dropping in the evening time. See you soon. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube.